Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Practicing My Way Back. Didn't have an episode last week for the simple reason that I didn't have anything to say, so I didn't say anything. That's always important when you actually don't have something to say, to don't talk or do. Anyway, what I'm thinking about this week, expectations, right? Expectations are generally not helpful. I'm finding. I had a really interesting time over at the Farnsworth on Sunday where we were talking about the basic question of what is art. And putting aside that whole conversation, one of the things that came up, and one of the things I've been thinking about, which has led me to this place, is our expectations, in particular when we're experiencing something else, like a piece of art or something. Far too often, I think, we come to it with this set of expectations, right? So we go to a concert, we're going to, say, a symphony concert or a Irish folk concert. So as soon as that framework is there, Irish folk or symphony or what have you, we have a set of expectations. It's going to sound a certain way. The people are going to play certain songs. There's going to be a certain amount of ritual depending on what that framework is. And that's fine in and of itself. But the problem is that when those expectations aren't met, too often we look at that as a negative, which doesn't make much sense to me anymore. And I've done it just as much as everyone else. So this is my utopian world that I envision, right? There's a poster on the wall that says concert, this place, 7 p.m. And that's it. And that we as audience would go to that, not worrying about whether it was something that we were familiar with or that even we would like. We're not even thinking about the question what we would like. We just want to have the experience and observe. Same thing going to an art museum. We walk in the door. Who cares who it is? And it's practice you can pick up today. It's harder, obviously, with everything being, information being what it is right now. What does this have to do with playing the piano? Okay, so every time you sit down to practice, you really want to be as open as possible. I could not have survived this whole process of bringing my mechanics back if I had not been open about it. If I had walked up to the piano day one after the stroke and said, well, I don't care, I'm going to beat this stroke, I can do what I can do because I'm that person or whatever. That's not going to happen. That's fantasy. What I had to do is say, okay, what do you have in store for me, piano? And start from there. And I think that coming to that, and I've been largely successful, and I will admit that I have had rough sessions where, and I've made a mistake where I come to the piano the next day, everything went well the day before, I'm expecting that things are going to go well now. Not necessarily. And again, it's good to put aside that word well because things just are. They are what they are, and that's the end of it. So you sit down at the piano, play, you observe what's going on, and you make the necessary adjustments. It's that simple. As I've said before, simple but not easy. But it's important. You can see just from those few examples that I gave you how upsetting expectations can be to your creative process and to your whole life. Actually, your whole world. I was saying this to somebody else recently. You could easily, if you frame something the wrong way, based on an expectation and assign a negative to it, you could miss an entire experience. You can miss an entire opportunity if you did that. So just worry about what's in front of you and know that you're capable of figuring out what to do with that, right? There's another point I was going to make and it has escaped me, but that's okay because here we are and there we are. So that's what I have for you. We'll see you next time. Work hard and have fun.